everyone, it is Friday, it's VEDA day 3, and even though all the days kind of blend together, it does feel like Friday. I decided to come outside to do my video because it's still light out, it's like 3 o'clock, and I don't really go outside as much anymore. I stay inside all day, working on the computer for school, and it's nice to be out in the sun. The sun's right there. I like my yard. It's a small yard. See, there's my yard, that's the end of it. And it's shaped like a triangle, and I like it. So what's on my mind? I recorded part of a video and then I felt like I was rambling, but I was talking a little bit about school. I'll be going on spring break next week, so I'm not planning on doing too much work because I just don't. I know it feels like a lot of teachers, or at least there's this idea that all teachers, which isn't true, are always constantly working on their classes. And I respect the ones that do, that put in hours and hours and hours. But I don't. I need that time to mentally decompress. But I do want to make sure that I'm able to provide things for my students. On the 13th, my district is starting with remote learning, and they've sent out some kind of schedules to the schools, and I have a rough idea of what the high school's schedule will more or less look like. Fortunately for me, my principal's pretty flexible, and I'm a pretty flexible person too, so I'm more using the schedule and the expectations as like a guideline for what I can provide for my students without making it too much of a burden on me, because we're all in this very new situation. I probably have some students that I don't know what all of their home lives are like. Some of them will be able to get on the computer and access things pretty easily. Other ones might have other responsibilities to worry about. So basically they've got some like asynchronistic time, and then there's slots where for each class period, like first period or second period or whatever, where as the teacher you can create like a Google Meet and your students can tune in so you can talk to them. But we're not supposed to use that to teach anything new, which is good. It's equitable, because if you have a student who is not able to join in the meet at the time that it's happening and you teach something new, then they're going to miss it. We're also not supposed to record it for privacy reasons, so they would miss it. So basically, my general plan is, I've taught Spanish 2 a lot before, and I'm teaching it again this semester. And I'm also teaching Spanish 3, which I've only taught twice before, and I'm kind of doing it in a new way. So obviously the material I would have gotten through, it's going to look very differently. I'm not going to be teaching the way that I've done before. So with Spanish 2, I have the units that I've done in the past that I would have been doing, and I know the vocabulary that I want to do and some of the grammar that I want to cover. And so I kind of broke up my days for Spanish 2 just because of the periods that I have. That'll end up being like probably Mondays and Wednesdays maybe. And so on one of the days I'll give them like notes for things that they can write down, and some practice, either grammar practice or vocabulary practice, and then maybe a reading activity or a listening, depending on the day. Obviously I don't want to give them too much to do, but some kind of input where they're reading something or listening to something in Spanish and responding to it. And then the next class session, continuing on with that same unit, giving them something where they're either writing their own thing or speaking, doing some kind of where they're outputting something. And then for Spanish 3, doing something similar, obviously with different units. So with Spanish 2, I definitely have thought over what sort of grammar or vocabulary do I want to make sure that they see and are exposed to, because with Spanish 2, some of those students, not all of them, but some of them will end up going on to Spanish 3. So I want to make sure that they're prepared and have seen reflexive verbs, and then the 2 forms of the past tense to talk about things that you did, describe what you were like. And then if there's any other grammar that I feel like they should see it, I'll probably just link it somewhere where they can access it. The reality is sometimes in my lower levels, I probably teach grammar a little, I do emphasize it a little bit where I'll like, hey, we're going to do notes on this today. And some other teachers, especially if they learned about teaching Spanish a long time ago, do focus more on grammar, but there are studies that show it's better to learn how to communicate in the language more and to practice the skills related to listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And the reason I still teach grammar in general is because I want students just to understand the mechanics of the different forms of it. And sometimes maybe I spend a little too much time on some activities, or maybe I don't spend enough time practicing something. But I want to give them more opportunities to see the grammar, but then practice using the theme, talk about your routine, or tell me what you did yesterday, and give them the grammar is really just a tool to help you use the language. So that hopefully will make things a little easier. And I'm excited to hopefully have the chance to do some live chats with some of my students because, like I said before, I miss them. I miss seeing their faces. I miss hearing their voices. I expect probably very few students to actually tune in to the live class times, but that's okay. I'll be available. I'll say, here's the link to join into our class tomorrow, and whoever joins in, I'll be happy. And maybe we'll get to play some computer games like Kahoot or something like that as well. We'll see how it goes. But yes, that will be coming up in a little over a week. I'm looking forward to a spring break though, where I can kind of relax and see what sort of things I want to do, like read some books. I still got to finish that one book I showed you yesterday. I didn't do it last week, but I've been doing yoga, YouTube yoga, in my living room, so I might do that tomorrow. And tomorrow morning, my husband and I are going to video chat with 2 of our friends. We're going to do virtual brunch together, so that'll be fun. Anyway, that's all for today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye!